feel like it's been a while since we've last hit the track, but guess what? We're here, and we are at the home of Breakout Racing League. That's right, it is the United States Grand Prix. Welcome along, everybody, to Breakout Racing League's Tier 3 Championship. We've arrived, round 7, and, well, we gotta take it to our home at Circuit of the Americas. A track which we've had since 2012, and it's hosted some pretty great races since. Now, Coda, you've got 20 corners that make up this track and 2 DRS zones, one going into turn 1, the other one going into turn 12, turn 12 being your main overtaking opportunity, and a lot of twisty and tight turns. Corner cutting is really going to play a factor in this Grand Prix and here in qualifying as well. We'll see how this goes on for this week. Now, your host, once again, it's Minico. Unfortunately for you guys, but fortunate for me. And alongside me is Q-Man. And Q-Man, well, this is your home Grand Prix. It's a lot of the drivers' home Grand Prix, and it's the league's home Grand Prix. Do you expect somewhat of a spectacle this week?
Yeah, a lot of drivers here are gonna do their best here as it's the home of the Breakout Racing League. Me personally, I want some good entertainment here for this race, especially. Me personally, is one of my favorite tracks in the game. Not because I'm just American, but of how the track is. But we are in for one exciting race here.
And as history has proven, Coda has definitely provided some very interesting, exciting races in the past, so we are definitely not short of that this week. And alongside with that, it also could very well have a turn of the tides in the championship. Let's quickly look over that, and it's Gary that still leads the drivers' championship, but by just 5 points though, ahead of the Red Bull of one underdog. 97 and 92 points apiece for those two, and it's getting closer every week. And in third, you've got Kieran. Unfortunately, Kieran is not here for this week, but he currently sits in third, a bit of a ways behind the front two, with Huis, who has really been picking up the pace as of late, sitting in fourth, as I am on board with him as of right now. In fifth, you've got Redeemer, who grabbed a podium last week in Monza due to him removing his time penalty. And then Kirito sits in sixth ahead of James B, with Haas sitting in 8th. La Balloon, last week's race winner, his first win in Breakout Racing League, he sits in 9th, respectively. And Flynn rounding out the top 10 in terms of the constructors. Well, it is just as tight as it is in the drivers. Red Bull lead with 118 points, just 6 points ahead of Mercedes. Once again, it's the Bulls against the Arrows. Who's going to come out on top after this weekend? We'll have to find out. Haas sit in third, tied in points with Aston Martin, 65 points apiece, and then 5 behind is Williams. Then you got Alfa Romeo in 6th ahead of Ferrari, ahead of McLaren, and Alpine getting points on the board last week in Monza. They currently sit in 9th. AlphaTauri rounding out the 10 constructors. And to start this qualifying session, there's the first time on the board. It's a 1 minute 34.2, and that is, once again, quite a benchmark from Huis. Something that he likes to be good with is qualifying.
Oh, we got a spinner. That's Shredder.
Yeah, that is indeed Shredder, as La Balloon came across the line. He's at 37.2 on the mediums, and then Redeemer replaces him with a 135.3. But yeah, Shredder losing it at the triple right-hander. That's also something to note. This track, although it is very fun to drive, but at the same time, you can tend to lose the rear quite a bit around this track. What's your take on that? Do you think that the track is a little bit hard to keep on track, or what's your take? I kind of messed that up.
It is. It's a little hard to keep on track. You just need a good stable rear end. If you really don't have the grip and have the the rear wing set right, then you could see some the car snapping on you, possibly doing a big 360. So we're gonna need to watch out for some drivers possibly doing that to themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be, this race is definitely going to be a case of consistency, that is for sure. They're not focused on consistency right now. Obviously, they got to get through qualifying in the stands at the moment. And, well, we'll see how that gets on. So far, 5 drivers have set a lap time, though QuickTime not really setting a representative lap time, but he'll quickly fix that, as I believe he is on a lap. But, qualifying, I feel like it can decide your place in the race, but it doesn't at the same time. Consider the fact that, well, we've had great races, as I mentioned before, here in COTA, and you could definitely be outside the top 10 and still put yourself in a good position. So I feel like this race, much like Monza, is a bit of a gambler, as that is a yellow flag once again. I believe Shredder has just gone round again, and he has. That triple right-hander might be a tricky one for a few drivers, by the looks of it. He's alright,
like I said, it's that rear end. Yeah, it's that rear end. Like I said before, you have to have a stable rear end for this track, otherwise you will not make it.
Yeah, you definitely won't, as we were just immediately proven by that. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, and I believe that is Gary that's went around, as Dennis now goes to the top of the session. 1 minute 34.1, just under a tenth ahead of Huis now. So Dennis, who was on the podium provisionally last week at Monza in his debut race. Unfortunately, he got bumped down to 4th, but he's going to try and take another, potentially another podium. We'll have to find out. But he's already showing some pretty good pace as he did top the session. We'll see how everyone gets on, though, especially since Gary is on a lap time. He is actually one of the few that spun, and he actually hasn't validated, so that's not ideal. But we haven't really done this yet, but we might as well. Q-Man, why don't you take us on for a lap around Circuit of the Americas with one underdog?
One underdog, let's see, alright. Alright, so we got the straightaway here. Alright, uphill a little bit here. Alright, braking zone. All the way to second gear with a sharp left-hander. Back over to gears 3rd, 4th, 5th. There, right-hander. We got a tricky exit here. You can easily invalidate your lap here. Down 6 gear here. That's not a lot you should do, but is what it is. We got this tricky right hander as well. This track has a lot of tricky handlers here. Back up through the gears up to 7th and 8th. It's just between a 50 and 100 board, all the way to 2nd and the left hander. Now you got this extremely long straight here. BRS open.
Excuse the blinding light.
Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna not be on board with him for that bit. But yeah, a lot opening opportunities here into that straight into that corner as well. Another tricky part of this track here. Right-hander, and then another left-hander immediately afterwards into second gear immediately as well. And we got this fast right-hander, which we've seen Shredder twice spun it because of a loose rear end. Looks like the rear end stable for Underdog's car. Also printed in the corner and the final corner, all the way to second gear on corner, and that it will be P3 for Underdog with 1:34.5.
Yep, good lap time there from the championship rival to Gary, and he puts himself on the second row alongside Redeemer, in which Underdog, obviously, he's not the best qualifier. He's admitted that, and while putting himself in P3, so that is a pretty good qualifying effort from the Red Bull himself. We'll see if he can potentially improve on that, or anybody else behind him, because there are still, if I look over, it's 7 drivers that have yet to set a lap time. We're already halfway through qualifying, so that's not ideal. We'll make that 6 now. So I believe, who was that just came across the line? I think it was Sonone that did. He went, nope, it was Whiffy, actually. Whiffy came across the line, and he went up to 5th, so his first lap, good lap to put him.
Shred goes around for the 3rd time this qualifying session in Sector 2. This time, just right at the S's.
Something tells me that the rear end of that Ferrari is just not good for him. Maybe a little bit less rear wing.
Yeah, it's extremely unstable for him. I never seen anyone spin out that much in a qualifying session here at COTA. 3 times for him already.
Hopefully he can get things sorted and get a lap time on the board, because, well, You do want to qualify well if you want a good shot, but I say that this race can also be a gamble at the same time, so we'll just have to find out. I believe who's coming next to come across the line? I believe it's going to be Haz in the Haas. Say that 5 times fast. Has Haas. God, that's weird. And oh, bit of a slide there actually, coming to the Sector 2-3 split, and he's actually kind of wrestling the car a little bit. Is Haz, and well, it seems that he has a little bit of a loose rear end like Shredder does. And well, does he survive?
Ooh,
oh,
there
no,
it
he doesn't.
goes.
I was gonna say if he can survive the triple right-hander, he clearly doesn't. He's around, and that is his qualifying effort, at least for that run, done and dusted. And once again, the triple right-hander proven to be very, very tricky. One thing that I definitely do know of that corner. Not only do you need a stable rear end, but at the same time, you need to be very, very smooth around that corner if you want any hope of surviving. As I saw, Echo has just joined, so we'll have 17 drivers for us. Both Mercedes are now in. Mercedes against Red Bull once again. I would love to see that. But yeah, Haas, Shredder, really struggling around there. Frizy, not quite able to set a lap time yet. Gary, well, he was on a lap time, but he just invalidated once again. Gary not able to set a lap time here in qualifying, the championship leader, and there's only 6 minutes left of qualifying, so if he's gonna get a run, he realistically might only have 1 run left to do it. It's not looking good for the championship leader. So I just saw La Balloon came across the line. He went up to 4th, so the last week's race winner, Lao Balloon, putting himself up into the 2nd row. Good qualifying for him. And he said he had no ERS on his first lap. Well, he definitely had ERS on for that lap. And, well, 2nd row for him, just behind Underdog and just ahead of the other Red Bull of Flynn, in which Flynn... No, he has not a lap time, so scratch that. Oh, and that is a car way off. Looks like that is Gary that's way off at the triple right-hander.
Yeah, he spawned that. Another unstable right end here.
Quite a few drivers with an unstable rear end. That's not ideal, because, oh my... the slide coming into the pits from Gary. I doubt that was intentional, but that looked good.
Fallon will go up to P9. After getting a 135.6.
Yeah, decent lap there for the Williams after missing last week, and well, there he is in the top 10. His teammate, however, is currently sitting on the front row, and Dennis goes even quicker. And he bested that by half a second. Dennis extends his lead in qualifying. It's a 33.6. That is quite the effort to try and beat that.
Yeah, who is an underdog have to step it up here now if they want to have a challenge to pull here.
And Gary. Gary still doesn't have a lap time, don't forget. 3 drivers who realistically have the best chance for pole position. Who is Underdog? Well, Underdog, like I said, not the best qualifier, but he's up there in 3rd, so clearly he's doing well in qualifying here. And then Gary, all not having a lap time. Oh, well, Gary not having a lap time on the board, but Underdog has to improve by pretty much 9/10. Over 9/10. He has to improve by a second. And Huis has to improve by over 6/10 to try and beat that lap from Dennis. That's quite the, that's going to be difficult, that's for sure. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. I believe that's just Fallen, who's slowly coming into the pits. And we're coming in near to the dying parts of qualifying. So we'll see if anybody can try and best that Alpine to pole position in the dying stages. As Gary's saying in the chat, you like that, and it was. I did indeed like that slide out of the into the pits.
My dude was totally drifting there. Anyways, we got to let her start their final hot lap of this qualifying session.
Is looking over. I think Redeemer is going to start his final flying lap. Indeed, he is. So the Alfa Romeo going to try and do better than 6th on the grid. We'll see if he could, can he potentially go for pole? It's going to be quite a difficult task, and then behind them is going to be the Alpine of Friese, who's going to be next to come across the line. So these are going to be the last few laps for some drivers, and I actually noticed that Lab Balloon just came out of the pits, so at least he's still got plenty of time. Oh, Friese's around! Out of turn 2.
And now this qualifying session over.
Yeah, those tires are going to be shot, and, well, he will have the ERS. He might have the fuel. It's going to be tough, but that's definitely going to ruin his qualifying effort, and he will not get a lap time. Well, he could get a lap time on the board, but it's not going to be as representative. About to find out. As now drivers are starting to go on an outlap.
Alpari around.
I think that is the coach.
The coach.
Well, he's on an outlap, so I think he was just slowing down to get out of the way of some drivers, which he has. Nearly collected the Aston Martin, actually, so it was a bit tight, but he's all good to go.
Ooh, Redeemer goes wide. Never mind. Was lagging. I thought he went wide there.
Yeah, Redeemer, I noticed, had a little bit of lag in a practice session I was doing with him. But, yeah, no, he isn't going wide or anything. Or he might be. I don't know. Didn't seem to be the case. That's around. Yellow flag through sector 2. I believe that is just the Alpine getting out of the way. As Redeemer's going to come around the final corner, and where does he put that Alfa Romeo? He puts it 4th. So decent improvement there from the Alfa Romeo. It'll put him second on the grid.
Whiffy Winner comes across the line here. He goes up to P5.
As Echo now comes across the line, and he's only going to go 11th. So not a good lap time from him. As I believe Huis is actually going to come across the line. No, he's actually starting a lap, my bad. Gary. Gary's still on a lap time, actually. And, well, he's invalidated again.
Wow.
And he's low on ERS as well.
The problem's here.
The championship leader is not seeming to keep the car on track right now. That is absolutely detrimental. Especially when his rival is up in 3rd place. That is not what he wants at all. Looking over, I believe the next to come across the line is going to be the Red Bull. I think that's Flynn. No, it's Underdog. As Underdog is going to start his final flying lap. Dennis, he's going to come across the line. Dennis actually just started another lap. He managed to make it. Wow, that is
kind
tight.
of close there.
Yeah, kind of close. The checker flag is falling. Quick Tongue improves. He goes up to 8th. Flynn is going to be next to come across the line. He goes up to 5th. A decent lap time there from the Red Bull. Who's next to come across the line? I believe it's going to be Has. Oh my God. Gotten a lap in? Yes, he has, but it's only good enough for 12th place. Not the qualifying session he would have wanted. As Loud Balloon, Loud Balloon is off at the triple right-hander. That's his qualifying done. He'll start at best 4th. I believe next to come across the line is going to be... Well, I thought it was going to be Echo. Scratch that. I think now... Next up is going to be Huis. Huis is now going to be the next to come across the line in the Williams. He's going around the triple right-hander. Now to the penultimate corner. He just has one more corner to negotiate and try not invalidate it. That should be easy, simple, done. Redeemer's retired. That is in the pits. Huis comes across the line. He goes on to provisional pole. A 133.4. Great lap time there from the Williams.
Dennis is around. Dennis goes around this qualifying session over. No pole position for him.
He is. As Gary comes across the line, he's going to go up to 6th, but Dennis is not going to be able to improve on his lap time. Fries is going to come across the line. He's not going to get a lap time in. His qualifying is done. James B is in the wall at the final corner. That is not what he wants at all. Underdog is going to come across the line. Does he go better than 3rd? No, he doesn't. But he will solidify his place in 3rd at the moment. And Dennis, as you said, did spin around. And, well, he is going to come across the line to just end qualifying. That is qualifying done and dusted. Huis, once again, on pole position. And if I check it real quick, that's the 2nd pole here in Breakout Racing League.
Gary gets a P6.
Yeah, Gary got a good managed to, despite the ERS level that he had, he was basically 27% on ERS, still puts it up on 6th. So, managed to salvage a decent qualifying position out of that. However, he could not even get close to the front 3. The front 3 are nearly a second ahead of 4th. Those are some lap times. Damn. But Huis once again, tops qualifying for the second time. He will start on pole position ahead of Dennis. Dennis unable to improve on his lap time. Underdog will start third ahead of Redeemer. Flynn in fifth, both Red Bulls in the top 5 ahead of Gary. Then it's Whiffy, Loud Balloon, Quick Time, Fallen rounding out the top 10. James B, Sonone, Haas, Echo, DeCoach, Shredder, and Frizy unable to set a lap time to get into the top 10. And well, that is something to note though. It took him to the last gasp to get a lap time in to Gary. That's gonna be something to note. And also, just to clarify, due to some issues that have kind of popped up more as of recently with the formation lap, we unfortunately will not have formation lap for Tier 3.
Lame.
It is lame. It is lame, but you know what? Blame the fact that they won't fix the formation lap. It was right. Being honest here, the formation lap was probably like one of the biggest things that they introduced into this game, and they can't even fix it. Like, that's so frustrating.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, so we're just going to see it as is, and I'll actually get a better view of the start lights, so if anything, it's not all bad for me, because I have to find some sort of angle to see everybody. Now I don't need to. So, I guess thank you, Tier 3, but also, screw you, yay. That's all I can put at that. We're going to have to wait a bit, though, for the drivers to select their tires and select their setups and see what everyone will be starting on at the start of this race. 28 laps here in Circuit of the Americas, and 28 laps that are guaranteed to be a very exciting race. But the question is who is going to be able to go and take the win here at the home of Breakout Racing League. We're just going to have to find out, won't we? Safety cars are definitely going to play a part in this race. Same with track limits, and as well as consistency. Those are going to be the 3 factors here for this Grand Prix. Who's going to have the least penalties? Who's going to have the best strategy? Who's going to have the most consistent pair of hands on the grid? And more importantly, who can just survive?
You know, from the I've seen a lot of invalidations in qualifying. You guys are gonna see a lot of 3-second time penalties, NESs, and the fast right-handers, just everywhere on the track.
I'm expecting someone to have at least like 15 seconds worth of time penalties.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna say who, because, well, why bet on that? But someone is guaranteed to. Maybe someone who was really struggling, like, was super struggling in qualifying in terms of invalidation. So Gary could be up there, maybe. Then again, he does have good race pace, does Gary, so I could very well be wrong on that. One person that I definitely won't say that will have little to no time penalties is going to be the Rebel of Underdog. I have not seen that man get a time penalty in like almost the entire time I've commentated with them, which was back in Season 8.
Interesting.
If he has gotten one, then I don't remember, but it was very minor. So he is going to be one to watch out in terms of having a time penalty, because he won't. That's something he just knows best. As we are now going to go to the 5 red lights. 5 red lights are on. United States Grand Prix is upon us. Long wait, lights out, and away we go. A pretty good start for the front 2. Who's going to get the run into turn 1? Gary with a great start. He's already moved himself up into 4th, but into turn 1 we go. Who is easily has the lead through to turn 1 as Underdog is trying to make a move on Dennis already, and he has. So Underdog getting the jump on Dennis. Gary getting the jump as well. Bit of shuffling further back, but so far everyone able to get it through into turn 1 and through the S's. You can see everybody actually kind of in a straight line. Nobody going wheel to wheel as it stands at the moment. Who is already pulling a 1-second gap to Underdog before he even ended Sector 1. That is, wow, okay. Go off. But who is with a brilliant start? Yeah, he is gone. And Underdog getting the jump on Dennis. Gary getting a great jump. He's moved on 2 positions already. And so far, everyone able to keep it on track, able to keep it within track limits. There's a bit of switching further back between Haas and Loud Balloon. It looks like Haas has managed to get ahead of the McLaren and up into 11th. He's now going to try and challenge after Quick Tongue. And Whiffy is looking for a move on Fallen potentially. Dennis and Underdog going at it. The battle for P2 going. And Dennis has managed to get back past the head of the Red Bull and is up into second place. He's now going to try and chase after Huis, as there's more battles going on further back between Fallen and Whiffy. They're going wheel to wheel through sector 3 right now. And Fallen a little bit boxed in. And Whiffy goes for the dive on Flynn. So he makes 2 overtakes in the span of a couple corners. And he's up into 7th place. But so far, nobody really spinning. I say that now. Yep, Fryzy's just gone round. Commentator's curse. Hello? Nonetheless, though, no front wings gone. And now, at the end of the first lap, Huis leads by 1.5 seconds. 1.6 now. He's had a brilliant getaway.
Oh, Shredder's on softs here. Wow. I did not know that. Oh, James B and Shredder make a little bit of contact there. And then be right back at the pack. But they managed to keep it together.
It looks like the coach has managed to get ahead of Shredder.
Oh,
They're
Shredder
still
goes
fighting
around.
Oh. Was that contact between Shredder and the coach? Not sure, but that is basically going to ruin his softs. As well, they are definitely going to be overheated, and well, if he was struggling in qualifying, he's definitely going to be struggling in the race, that is for sure, as I believe Fallen is now starting to fall down the pack, as Haas has now gotten ahead of the Williams, and he is up into 9th, Fallen down to 10th, so Fallen, back where he started to be fair, so it's not all bad, but now he's going to try and challenge after Haas. He's got the slipstream, he's on the button, he's going to tug into the slipstream once again, he's going to think about a move into turn 12, he is going to think about it late on the brakes, might have been a bit of contact, but Haas stays ahead. We're going to look over at the position changes. So far, the biggest gainers in this race have been Gary, who's up 2 positions at the start. Loud Balloon up 3 positions at the start. And Haas as well. Haas is up 4. So, decent position gains for those guys. Not so much for Redeemer, Flynn, Quick Tongue, and James B. Both Aston Martins not having a great start. They're down 2 positions. Flynn's down 3. Redeemer down 2. Dennis sets the fastest lap now, 137.7, as he's going to try to chase after the Williams of Huis. And Dennis, who showed his pace in Monza, he's going for it again. There's a yellow flag, though, out of the final corner. I believe Sonoda's just gone around, and he has. Doesn't have a loss of front wing. Oh, and there's more. Oh, and there's the loss of front wing. Shredder's gone round. That's going to be a virtual safety car.
Fryzy's has gone around as well.
Yeah, he did. Luckily, he still has his front wing, but the virtual safety car now out. That's going to stop that's going to not stop everybody, but it's going to neutralize the race a little bit. And now they can get their heads into a calm and fashionably order. And I'm just going to say this right here, right now. Once again, we see a start masterclass from the Mercedes of Gary. He's on the hards, and he made up 2 positions. How does he do it?
He's got the dog in him, that's why he's built like that.
He's just built different. Leave it at that. That's why he's your championship leader. As he's going to try and chase after his championship rival Underdog, but not right now. Still a virtual safety car as it stands in the moment. Looking over at the tires, though, you see the front 2 are on mediums. Then 3rd and 4th are on hards. Loud Balloon's on mediums. Redeemer also on hards. Then Whiffy down to Fallen, set of mediums. Quick Tongue on the hards. James B, mediums, then Echo down to Sinone, hards, Fryzy also on the hards, Shredder on the soft. So a bit of a mixed bag between the rest of the guys. Oh, dear. That is a drive-through penalty for Quick Tongue for speeding under virtual safety car. And that is definitely going to ruin his race. Yeah, going back to what I was saying, though, it's a bit of a mixed bag between most of these drivers, Shredder being the odd one out, going on the softs, but everyone on the set of softs or set of mediums, which is interesting to see as the coach grabs the first 3-second time penalty of this race.
Here's our first 3 seconds, and there's only left 4.
Yep. More to come. Put it at that. More to come. It looks like Whiffy is all over the back of Redeemer here, going through the second sector right now. Oh, gosh, that was a load of flag from Redeemer there. Looked like he just went straight onto the right-hand side.
And that like scares me sometimes. Sometimes I think he's gonna go straight into the barrier and just like destroy his car, and there goes Charlie just retiring from the race in the pits.
I think that rear end is just a little bit too much for him, and yet he is calling it a day. That's a first retirement of the race. Ooh, Whiffy going a little bit deep there into turn 11. Still got a decent run, though, out of the exit, and he's going to have DRS available on the
Chunk
street.
has gone around in the S's.
He has gone around, and that is
exit of the S's.
That's after he started his drive-through. Here comes Whiffy. Oh, Redeemer moving a little bit late, but Whiffy's going to go up the inside into turn 12. Bit of contact. Redeemer goes off the track. Whiffy gets ahead. And something tells me that Redeemer is definitely not going to be happy about that.
Maybe.
What's that?
I'm not sure, but that looked like a force off the track, maybe.
It did. As Haas is trying to look for a move up the inside of Flynn. That was a bit unorthodox. He tried to make the move, but unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to. Flynn is able to stay ahead. But Haas is looking super aggressive at the start of this race. And although he didn't have the best, attempt at qualifying, you can see him fighting the car. Oh, DeCoach and Echo. What's happening there?
There's a wreck. Coach and Echo just collided.
That's going to be a full course safety car. What has happened there? I'm going to try and see if I can get it from Frizzy's point of view. I think they might have just got caught up together. They're not in the wall. They're not in the wall. They were parked basically in the middle of the runoff.
I think Echo or the coach spun, and then someone had no time to react.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
I just see it was all the way back there.
I think the coach might have spun round, and Echo was most likely trying to take avoiding action, and that ended up with Echo unfortunately hitting him. And that is going to see two drivers out of this race. That is going to be the first safety car of this race. Sonone is actually on the back of the safety car. Hello, Aston Martin. How you doing? Trying to clear. Oh my! The safety car nearly took out Sonone.
Oh no!
What?
I saw that. I was like, my jaw was dropping there. Like,
Burr Mylander, what are you doing? What was that? At least Sonone was able to survive that. Like, I've never seen that kind of erratic driving from the safety car. That is...
the damn safety... Did the damn safety car was trying to like get out of the way?
Did he take his lessons from Lance Stroll at this Grand Prix? Like,
Oh
my
my
God. Close call. And speaking of Sonone, he just said in the chat that he has rear wing damage. And rear wing damage around this track definitely doesn't bode well. He's still going to try and finish, though. He said he's still going to give it everything, which is great to see. But Sonone, first rear wing damage, then nearly getting hit by a safety car. I don't think that was on the bucket list.
Well, Nico, it's lap 6, and we already lost 3 drivers, so we got a lot of shit to come still.
Oh, definitely. And well, although a lot of people are staying out in the pits, one person that isn't staying out and actually decided to box is going to be James B. He's going to go onto the set of hards, which is pretty early. Not sure if the tires can make it. It's a bit unknown. I don't really know the tire wear that well. But we'll see what he can do. Obviously, the safety car is definitely going to help for his tires. But we'll see if he can potentially try and make it to the end as Gary's gone round! He's lost the under safety car! He was going to be down in 8th, but Flynn lets him by. I think that might have been an illegal overtake, but Gary, he lost it on the uphill left of turn 9. As Redeemer gets a 5-second time penalty.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
Safety car chaos here.
Yeah, first safety car tried to take somebody out, and then Gary spinning around, Redeemer getting a 5-second time penalty. I don't agree with that 5-second. I don't agree with that.
They need to get rid of like giving out time penalties during safety car, because I think that's like honestly not fair.
Well, at the same time,
I'm just saying,
you say that, and to a point, I do agree. Like, when it comes to someone spinning or going extremely slow, I can understand it. But at the same time, what if someone actually does illegally overtake someone and they didn't spin? So it's a double-edged sword as you're saying that. But in this case, I would agree with you. Redeemer doesn't deserve that. Gary was spun. Well, he wasn't spun by somebody, but he just spun on his own. But that's gonna make things a little bit difficult now for the Mercedes. He has the pace to do so. Oh, Redeemer's just gonna dive straight into the pits.
He's gonna start as a time penalty, so
Yeah, to be honest,
get out the way. I think that's pretty smart.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty smart call there from Redeemer, and he might go on an extra set of hards, which of course he will have to make a pit stop, but so will pretty much everybody else. No, he's gonna go on mediums. Interesting
I think
call
he only
there.
has one set of hearts.
Yeah, so by this he's gonna go medium.
Also goes on softs.
He does. Those softs aren't gonna last long, I'm gonna tell you that. I'll see how he gets on, but he's gonna be very aggressive, and well, all the other drivers, except for James B, they're all on a worn set of either hards or mediums, so he is gonna have a pace advantage, but in reality only for like one lap. James B is the one to watch out for here, that is for sure, because he is on a fresh set of hards. As whether he'll go to the end or not, we don't know that. But he's going to try it, and well, if there aren't any other safety cars, he is looking in a decent position. However, Lewis and Dennis and Underdog were looking very quick. I mean, after out qualifying everybody by over a second ahead of the rest of the pack, I'm not surprised. I just figured out what happened between DeCoach and Echo. So, it wasn't DeCoach that lost the car, it was Echo. He lost the car at the long right, and Echo was completely still, and the car didn't
Dennis
go.
just spun it.
Oh, dear.
Dennis just spun it.
He did. And he's going to go all the way down into 5th. And the safety car is in.
Huh.
Yeah, to pretty much figure out what happened is that Echo, he spun at the long right, and then his car was completely still, at least to the coach, and his car didn't ghost. And I would assume he was on the racing line, and with that, the coach just collided with Echo. And just looking at it, there's no beef between them, I'll tell you that much. So, all is good there, but that is definitely not how they wanted to end the United States Grand Prix. However, there's still a long way to go for these drivers. 14 drivers left, and Lewis is going to come around the final corner, and he is going to resume the race on lap 8 of the United States Grand Prix. Didn't exactly catch out Underdog, though. He is pretty close onto the back of that Williams. He's not going to be able to make a move, though. Look at Gary, though. He's already looking for a move. He's going to try and go off the inside on Dennis, and he is going to go off the inside. Dennis going a little bit deep. He's going to get the run. He has that racing line going through into turn 2. They're still going wheel to wheel. Is the Mercedes and the Alpine, and Gary still trying to go for it. Dennis gives way, and Gary, timing that safety car restart absolutely brilliantly. He's up in the 5th place. Dennis still trying to challenge it, though. Can't do anything of it. He's going to have to stay behind, but Gary timing that to absolute brilliance, and he gets ahead of the Alpine. That is crucial.
Meanwhile, Redeemer has spun it in the first corner, and the safety car restarts. So
here goes Gary up the inside of Whiffy. Is he able to make the move? He's trying about it. Whiffy does have that racing line. He's gonna stay ahead for that little bit longer, but Gary looking extremely aggressive, but so is Dennis. Dennis is now looking for the move. Is he gonna try and make a double overtake? No, not quite. He's gonna slot behind the McLaren, but he gets back past ahead of Gary. So although Gary did time the safety car restart the brilliance, Dennis was having absolutely none of it. He's gonna move himself back up into 5th, Gary down to 6th. Great racing between these two, and Whiffy is probably he's probably shaking a little bit because he can see that those two are being ultra aggressive, and they are looking pretty quick in relation to that McLaren right now. Oh, Dennis!
Oh, Dennis!
Big snap out of the penultimate corner, and that's going to easily allow Gary to get back past ahead of the Alpine. Swapping left and right are those two. And Dennis, he's going to try it again, you know. He's going to think about the move. He is in the slipstream. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Yes, he is. But Gary has it covered off. Dennis is going to try and go for the switchback. But Gary, with the grip on the racing line, stays ahead. So Gary, this time around, able to stay ahead of that Alpine. But look, you can see the Alpine pretty much pushing that Mercedes through the S's. So clearly those mediums still have a lot of life. All calm though, and they're all good now. I think Gary might go for the move again, you know. He's definitely got to think about it. He's not going to make the move here. His Redeemer is into the pits, by the way. He's going to go onto a fresh set of mediums. And, well, that is definitely going to hurt his race as well. Now he has 2 worn sets of mediums. We'll see how he gets on, though. Maybe there is another safety car that can help him. As there's wheel-to-wheel battle between Haas and Fallen right now. Haas using those softs to great effect. He's up into 8th, Fallen down to 9th, but the Haas getting ahead. And now is going to try and chase after Flynn. Those softs, although they're not really the best tire to be on, he's using them to great effect. And he set a purple sector 2 for good measure. That's how you know he has the grip. Oh, yellow flag. That's quick tongue.
Quick tongue.
That's off at the turn 13-14 complex.
Gary has gone around.
Oh,
almost
dear.
made contact with Dennis.
He was struggling
Luckily,
in qualifying, and the struggle's set to continue. The championship leader down outside of the points as it stands at the moment. Oh, dear.
That's really not ideal for Gary.
It
Let me tell you, when he
isn't.
spun and Dennis had to like avoid that, Dennis was so close to collecting that rear wheel. Like, so close.
Well, it's a great reaction from
luckily-
Dennis, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Great record avoidance from Denise or Dennis. Wow.
Denise?
Ignore that real quick. Yep, ignore that.
Who's Denise?
Ignore that.
Nah, I'm gonna remember that for a while now. What?
No.
It's Dennis.
My brain is not.
Oh,
my
big
brain is
snap
not
there
brain
for
right now.
Whiffy. A big snap there out of the exit of turn 11. That's just gonna simply invite Dennis, and he's just gonna sail past the McLaren. He's up at the 4th now. So he's making the moves and making his way back up to the front 3. And Haas also earlier, I was gonna mention it before you decided to say Denise. Haas was also making moves, and he's up into 6th now, getting ahead of the Red Bull of Flynn. Those softs are looking pretty mighty fine. He hasn't set the fastest lap, but he's definitely one of the fastest cars on track right now. But that's not going to be for long, so he's using them to great effect. And he actually, to be for, oh, yes, he does.
And the same fast right-hander as Jarvis have been having issues with that corner all day long.
Oh, and he's round
he does
again.
it again.
That is not ideal for the McLaren, and he is outside the points. Not what he would have wanted. He's going to go straight into the pits. And I'm actually just going to quickly say, Haas may actually be on to something here. As Gary's going to look for a move, I'll quickly look at that. Is he going to dive down the inside? No, he doesn't. But Haas is actually on to something here. Everybody around him, barring James B., has to pit. He knows this. So in reality, going aggressive, and he has to pit, everyone else has to pit. In reality, he's just made a big brain strategy. So in reality, Haas is just, he's finessed it. Because he's in 5th now. And I'm not sure if he's able to close up onto the back of Dennis, because Dennis is closing up onto the back of La Balloon now. But this is going great for him, and now he could potentially be on a run for the podium, because the podium's right in front of him, as Dennis unable to make the move on La Balloon. La Balloon clearly having the straight line speed.
Loose there.
Yeah, a little bit loose there out of turn 12 for Dennis, so he's clearly struggling with the rear a little bit, as are quite a few drivers, as he's closing up onto the back of the Haas. But Haas are looking pretty good right now. Red Bull are also looking pretty good to try and extend their lead in the constructors. The Haas are now putting themselves more in the mix. Obviously, they put themselves up into, I believe, 3rd. Yeah, they are 3rd. And right now, they are going to pull away from Aston Martin. We'll see how it gets on, though, because one Aston Martin is on a worldly of a strategy right now. As Fallen is into the pits.
Let's see what move Dennis makes.
If he does go for the move.
Make a move.
He's going to try and go for the switchback, though. Oh, he nearly had the run. Bit of oversteer on the exit, though. That's going to kill it.
You guys know ERS. He has 8% of his ERS.
Yeah, you can see the blinking
That's not
light.
gonna help him. It's not gonna help him much on that long straight there. All he's gonna have is DRS. frankly.
Yeah, and you can see the Loud Balloon isn't blinking. Loud clearly has quite a bit of ERS on his side. Fallen went into the pits, by the way. He's onto a set of hard compound tire. He's going to easily go to the end of this race. Dennis looking for the moves, making sure that Loud could definitely see him in his mirrors. And, well, I think that might have actually scared the Haas a little bit because he went a little bit deep into turn 11. But luckily, he's all good, and he's good to go. While all this is happening, look who's closed up onto the back of these guys, and can even look for a move on Dennis. It has in the Haas. He moves himself up into 4th place, clearing him, but he spins round. Oh no! I think those softs are done. Though that's definitely an indication. It was looking oh so good. He was going to make the move. He was going to be up into 4th behind his teammate, but now he spun round at the exit of 12. Just getting those rears a little bit too hot. Now he's down into 6th place. And, well, luckily for him, it's not all bad because everyone in front of him still has to pit.
He's tiptoeing through the right-hander here. I think the sauce might be done here.
Is he going to go to the pits? No, he doesn't. He actually stays out a little bit. Dennis is going to go into the pits, though. The undercut for the Alpine. And he is going to try and get ahead of Loud Balloon in terms of strategy. If he's not able to do it on track, well, this is the second way to go. Set of hards. That's going to easily go to the end for him. And now it's just a matter of how quick can he get those hards into a working temperature. We'll have to find out as there is a yellow flag. And that's Whiffy.
Winner has gone around.
Once again.
For the second time this race.
Triple right-hander. Triple right-hander. But looks easy in relation to all the other corners. It is clearly one of the hardest in terms of keeping the car in check right now. Luckily though, he still has his front wing, so he's good to go. As everyone's now starting to settle down a little bit, and who is leading Underdog right now by 2 seconds between them. Let's not forget though, Underdog is on a set of the hard compound tire. Who is on a set of medium, so Underdog, he's going to be much faster at the end of this, near the end of this Grand Prix. He's going to, because obviously grip makes a huge difference around this track. And while he is actually kind of closing in onto the back of Huis, he's kind of kept that gap stable as Whiffy's around again. McLaren not having a good time right now. As Huis is in the pits. He's trying to find something to talk about. But here's something to talk about. Huis is going to go into the pits on lap 13, going on to lap 14 of the United States Grand Prix. Set of hards.
Also listening to the pits.
Yes, he is. And Haas, interestingly, staying out a little bit longer. As James B is now going to move himself up into 4th. That's the guy to watch out for. The Aston Martin of James B. Because he's on a fresh set of hards. 5 laps to clarify. He's in 4th. Here's something to note, though. Loud Balloon and Dennis. Dennis is behind Loud Balloon as it stands at the moment, but Loud Balloon does have... Oh, no! I was going to say that Dennis will have warmer tires, but now he's just completely looped in out of turn 1. And that's going to put him behind Fallen.
We also have a battle brewing here for P7 against Frosty and Sinon. They've been going out here for like a couple laps or so now.
Yeah, and Sinon not able to quite make the move. He definitely has a shot at making the move now. Obviously, Frizy still has to pit, same with Sinon. So this is definitely a battle on track for sure. And Frizy getting a 3-second time penalty earlier, as I mentioned. And can we just quickly say, the lack of time penalties. What's going on here?
I'm actually surprised. These guys are keeping it clean here. As I say, I wait for winners goes around, but yeah, I am like surprised. I am glad these drivers are keeping it clean. Not a lot of 3 seconds. Not a lot of warnings either.
Baffled. That is baffling. As Haas and Flynn are now into the pits on lap 14, going on to 15. And that's going to move Gary and James B up into 2nd and 3rd. They're definitely going to go on a set of hards, are these drivers. Flynn on a set of hards. And Haas, yep, set of hards for him. They'll easily go to the end, and that's going to allow Huis to get ahead of them and up into 4th place. And Huis has got a lot of clean air. He's 4 seconds behind Gary So this is all just push laps for him to try and build himself a gap.
Frizzy goes around and almost making contact with Sun. Frizzy just goes at the right time. That would have been bad if he didn't go. If he goes to 1 second later, but really, it's just a spin for Frizzy and nothing more.
As he goes off the track, and I think he's just letting Dennis and Fallen by, and indeed he does. So he's just quickly getting out of the way. But yeah, a spin for the Alpine, which is not ideal for him. We'll see. Well, he'll definitely have to pit this for sure. His Wiffy's actually going to go to the pits as well. Actually just missed that, but he's into the pits. He's not retiring, luckily. Good to see. But it's definitely not been the day for the McLaren. And looking over at the lead right now, Underdog currently leading this race, 12 seconds ahead of James B. And he is going to go into the pits. Bit of an early call here from Underdog. And he's going to get off those hard compounded tires. He's gone 16 laps. Or no, 15 laps.
I might call
and now
Gary into the pits as well. No, Gary stays out.
Set of mediums for the Red Bull. Now here is going to be the one thing to note. Is the gap between Underdog and Huis. But also the grip difference between the two. Huis is going to get ahead of Underdog. Obviously the undercut definitely playing a part. As Sonona's into the pits. But Underdog is 2.6 behind Huis. Well, make that 3.2. So, he lost about a second and 2/10, I would say, out of the pits. However, once those tires are up into a working temperature, Underdog is going to be quick. We're just going to find out. Yellow flag, and that is Redeemer.
Redeemer has spun at final corner.
Not a good day for the Alfa Romeo. And well, he wanted a boost after two non-point finishes.
Gary making a move on James B. Obviously, Gary has to might need to make another pit stop here later in this race.
Oh, he will have to make another
but
pit stop.
But he goes for the move.
Gary started on those hards. Let's not forget.
Anyway.
He's gonna get the move done. He's now gonna go into the lead of the United States Grand Prix. However, that is definitely not gonna last long because obviously Huis is right there. He's round about 2 seconds off of Gary right now on a fresh set of hard compounded tire. So it's not gonna be for long. And Gary clearly not having a good time around the United States Grand Prix as Fallen gets a 3 second time penalty for exceeding track limits. But really the main man to watch out for here is, well, I would say James B, but also Huis and Underdog, so we can still potentially have maybe a three-way fight for the lead of this race, because James B, it looks like he wants to go to the end. I'm not surprised by that decision. And, well, let's see if he can do it. It's going to be difficult. And, well, he's definitely not going to hold on to the lead much longer because Gary's just about checking out, and Huis is very much closing in onto the back of that Aston Martin.
Haas and Flint are side by side going into the S as Haas lifts and will give the position to Flint for now. But let's see if Haas will get it back.
Smart decision there from Haas. Obviously going wheel through the first sector. Not ideal. As, oh, Huis has actually just made the move on James B before they even had DRS. And that could actually be a very crucial move. Because he's not sitting in the dirty air of the Aston Martin for much longer. And the gap between himself and Underdog is definitely going down. Because Underdog is 2.7 behind the Aston Martin of James B. And the question is when does Underdog get ahead of James B?
On Flynn, side by side, little bit of contact maybe. He goes on the curves, the sausage curves.
Way too deep there from the Haas, and he's not going to be able to make the move. I'm pretty sure he was trying to go for DRS. He's going to dive down the inside though.
Once again.
Into turn 16, or turn 15, but he's not able to make it. So clearly the outside line for Flynn is clearly working out for him because he's not really defending. Underdog now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with 1:36.8. He's on a charge. And he's going to try and go for that elusive race win. Yellow flag in sector 1 once again.
Goes around again.
Yep, not ideal for the McLaren. And this battle for P6 about to ensue once again. Haas has the DRS. He's got the slipstream. Dennis is on the back of these guys as well. Has off the inside into turn 1. Late braking for
on
him.
the brakes, too.
Squeezes Flynn out a little bit, but he gets the move
What a
done.
move.
And Haas makes his way up into 6th place. He's going to try and check out ahead of Flynn. These two are set to battle for quite a while. One thing's for sure, though. Look who's on the back of these guys as well. Dennis. This is going to become a 3-way fight, and Dennis could be potentially looking for a move around the outside. What? Did he just make that move? Did I really just see that?
It has. My guy has the astonishing grip on the outside.
And he's on older hards as well. That's overtaking the week right there.
That's a sweet move.
It's only the first race of the 3 tiers that we have, and that's set to be overtaking the week. Amazing move from the Alpine. He's gonna move himself up into 7th, as there was a yellow flag in sector 3. Let's back out again as Whiffy's once again gone round.
It's Whiffy winner.
Yep, it is. He might just go straight into the pits. Yes, he is. But, looking over, and, well, the front 4 are starting to condense a little bit. James B under pressure from Underdog. And, well, James B doesn't have the DRS, Underdog does, and this is going to be an easy move there for the Red Bull. Indeed it is. He's up into 3rd place. The gap between him and Huis right now is currently sitting at 2.1. So he's gained a round. He's gained a second. And that was in the dirty air. And on lap 19, this battle for the lead of this race is definitely going to go to the end.
Ooh, Frizy has gone around in a fast right-hander just after it as well. Once again, the fast right-hander claims another driver.
Yeah, once again, just that triple right-hander is not anybody's friend, and Frizy is going to dive into the pits.
Oh no, Whiffy has gone around again.
Yep, he has. It's not been a good weekend for Frizy, Redeemer, and Whiffy. And especially for, at least for Redeemer, and I think Whiffy as well, for their home Grand Prix. This is definitely a home Grand Prix that they're going to want to forget. Frizy's going to go into the pits and set a medium compound tire for him. And I think I might know what Gary's trying to do here. He's trying to wait it out until a potential late race safety car. I think that's what he's trying to do. It's not looking to be the case. We're seeing a lot of yellows, that is for sure, but right now there is no chance of a potential safety car right now, as Dennis actually made the move on Haas, and now Dennis is up into 6th place. But Gary's trying to stick it out, and well, although he does have the track position, he has to pit, and there's no doubt about it. And well, looks in his rearview mirror, and he can see a Red Bull, his championship leader, on the back of him. Yellow flag once again, that is Whiffy, that's gone round once more. But Underdog, not able to make the move on Gary yet. The one thing's for sure is that he's going to be massively quick in relation to his rival. The front 2 in the championship, fighting it out for position as it stands to the moment. Obviously, Underdog with the supreme pace over Gary right now. Gary's still managing to hold his own right now. The gap between himself and Huis has not really moved much, and Underdog not quite getting a good exit there. Out of turn 9 and 10. Yellow flag in sector 3. I think that was Whiffy just going straight to the pits. Frizy gets a 3-second time play for exceeding track limits. And well, this is the move that needs to be done. Whiffy retires for the session. But Underdog, he needs to make this move if he wants to challenge for the lead. He's got the DRS, got the slipstream. I think Gary didn't really fight that too much, and that was probably the safest way to go about it. Underdog moves himself up into 2nd place. And now, it is just one man left to go. Oh, he gets a little bit squirrely, though. And, oh, so does Gary as well.
So does Gary.
Wow, okay. I thought Gary was going to try and come back.
Might be a bit of a reaction from Gary from the squirreliness from Underdog.
And that's fair. I can understand that. But now, that's the gap to watch out for between Huis and Underdog. Gap right now, after that mistake, 2.2. It was 1.3, so he lost about a second after that error. So Underdog, he has to gain 2 seconds to try and get ahead of Huis. Unless Huis potentially gets a 3-second. If he does get a 3-second, Underdog is right in that mix. That's not a guarantee, though. So he's going to have to close up onto the back of that Williams. That is for sure. And the Williams, who's looked pretty comfortable at the early stage of this race, He's going to have to hold on. You know, while that's going on, battle for P6 still pretty much still going on as Haas is still staying close onto the back of Dennis. Obviously, Dennis not having the ERS to really pull away. None of this is Haas, to be fair, so actually this is just a straight-up fight. And, well, we'll see how that goes on. And this is for track position. Both of them on a set of the hard compounded tire, easily going to go to the end. We'll just have to see how that gets on. And, well, what also plays a factor in this race is when Gary's going to pit. Because Gary is really going to be a factor, not only in terms of for everyone behind him, but also in terms of the championship. Because right now, Gary, he's guaranteed to lose points. He's guaranteed to lose points to Underdog. Right now, he's losing 3, which would put the gap between the two at just 2 points. But when Gary pits, if we look at the gaps, Gary's going to come out around, what, 8th? 8th, 9th, something like that. And that is going to increase the gap even more. So Underdog surely could definitely take the lead of the Drivers' Championship for the first time this season. Will he do it by a second place, or will he do it by a first place? That is really the question to find out. And after not entirely having a great time around Monza, Red Bull seemingly looking pretty good. We'll see how he gets on. Now everybody has spread out a little bit. Nobody has DRS, interestingly. Weird to see that, because usually someone has DRS, but now it's a bit of a calm before the storm, I guess you could say. Lap 22 of the United States Grand Prix. And well, as Dennis gets a 3-second time penalty. But although this wasn't the most chaotic race, it's still a good race, I'll tell you that much. It still has a lot of implications, that is for sure. Let me just say, by the way, James B. really nursing that car. Oh, yellow flag, actually. And that is for Haas. Looks like he's gone round, and, well, he's managed to keep it going. Does he have a front wing, though? Actually, I think he's missing an end plate. He is!
I think I'll make some gains here.
Haas is missing an end plate, so he clearly hit the wall. And surely, that Haas has to pit. Because the downforce loss by just an end plate is going to be massive. We already know that. So he's definitely going to go into a set of softs. We already know that. And he can potentially try and take fastest lap, because when he does pit, he'll still be in the points. So, I mean, would you risk losing more points with this? You can still get P9, actually, so maybe it's not all bad. We'll see. There's a gap between Huis and Underdog, currently sitting at 1.4. Underdog, the past couple of laps, has gained around about a second overall. Though the mediums, I think it might be coming to that crossover point now, because Underdog is starting to lose time through the S section. And, well, yeah, those mediums, they don't look bad. They don't look great, though. He might be losing time now at this stage of the race. And, well, the charge, I think the mistake cost him. That mistake definitely cost him. We'll just have to see. Gap between them 1.5. 1.5 now. And, at the same time, Gary is just there, kind of. There's a yellow flag through Sector 3. I believe Fries has just gone around once more. The Alpine clearly not having a good time, but he's still in the running, that is for sure. I think this actually might be the sector.
1.3 seconds now.
I think this might actually be the sector where Underdog gains the most, is Sector 3. Because obviously, got quite a bit of low speed here. And, well, grip in comparison to the low speed and high speed, low speed you're going to gain a lot more. As Fries retired, and that is into the pits. Once again, another retirement. We've had 5 retirements from this Grand Prix, 3 of them in the pits, that being Shredder, Whiffy, and Frizy. The coach and Echo crashing between each other. Obviously, it was not really a fault of either driver, luckily. But, yeah, 5 retirements from 17 drivers. There's still 12 drivers left in this United States Grand Prix. And the front two, The gap between them still closing in a little bit. Underdog, once again, losing time through the S section. This might be Huis's best chance. This is really his best sector, is Sector 1 and the beginning of Sector 2, because that's where he's really gaining the most. And he knows this. The question is, though, I wonder how ERS is going to play a factor around here. As Haz gets the 3-second time penalty. He did pit, by the way. Can we just quickly say, by the way, you know how I mentioned earlier that Sinone had rear wing damage and nearly got killed by a safety car? He's managed it quite nicely. Granted, he's a long ways off of 8th, and he has 10th closing up on him. He's managing to nurse that car into a points-paying position, which, in my opinion, was really the best he could have done, which is absolutely perfect. There's a overtake, actually, by the way, from Dennis, as Dennis has managed to get ahead of La Balloon, and La Balloon is already 8/10 off him, so I think La Balloon might have had a mistake in Sector 2. Not ideal. As there is actually a battle now going on for P3 now, as Gary's into the pits. There we go. So Gary finally opting to go into the pits on lap 25. He's going to go onto a set of the soft compounded tire. That's going to be easily a fastest lap attempt. Does he come out between Flynn and Fallen? I think he does. Yes, he does. So he comes out behind the Red Bull and ahead of the Williams. And now he's going to charge for fastest lap. And if he does grab that fastest lap, he'll be gaining, I believe, if my math is correct, 7 points. Underdog is gaining 18 points as it stands at the moment. So the gap between the front two will swing from a 5-point gap in favor of Gary to, I think, a 6-point gap to for Underdog for the lead of this championship. In terms of the constructors, that's all Red Bull. Red Bull are gaining a huge amount of points. And I'm looking at that gap right now. It is within the fringes of DRS. Well, it was until Huis just gained a lot of time. But it is mighty fine between the front two in terms of a potential battle. There's 3 laps left to go of the United States Grand Prix. Will it be the American of One Underdog to take the win here in his home Grand Prix? Or will it be Huis, the Italian, to potentially take the win? Gonna have to find out. It's going to be very, very tight. Gap between them, 1.1. This is the place where Huis does gain the time, and an Underdog gains it all and a little bit more in Sector 3. So we're gonna have to watch out for that Sector 3. And those mediums are surely gonna be dying off now, as 10 laps on them, definitely not gonna be looking good. They don't look terrible, though. There is a bit of graining, though. It's not ideal.
But like you said earlier, Sector 3 is his best sector, so he might gain those that time back.
3/10 is what he needs to find. Can he do it? If he grabs DRS, it's going to be a fight. Those mediums definitely dying off, though. You can tell he's not really gaining the time. Got a decent exit, though. Could this be the time? Huis is managing to hold on to it. No, it's not. Oh, and there's a yellow flag. What has happened?
Oh yeah, wreck here.
Gary and Flynn. What has just gone on? That's on the front straight. That wasn't even the braking zone. They don't have DRS. I mean, they don't have damage. They don't have front wing damage. I think one of them might have moved over and collided with them, and then just simple as this contact. That is highly unusual.
Underdog made a huge mistake in the S's.
That might be game over.
Oh, Yeah, he went almost. He did actually exceed the track limits, but he had to slow down in order to not get a time penalty.
Might be close on warnings then, maybe. Who knows? I'm a little confused right now between what happened to Gary and Flynn. Like, what happened? I know they're constructors rivals, but I'm a little bit dumbfounded. Nonetheless, though, still push on. Gary's now in 6th, Flynn down to 7th, and Flynn is now actually under pressure here a little bit from Fallen. So Fallen could potentially take... Well, actually, no, he wouldn't be able to take P7 because he does have 3 seconds worth of penalties as it stands at the moment. So not ideal. Let me just quickly say, by the way, James B is nursing this car and is managing to make this strategy work.
Well, back to the top 2, Underdogs Mediums are no longer competitive anymore, so if Huis can just keep on track for this final lap, I think he has this one in the bag.
Yep, he just has to negotiate 20 corners and keep it within the white line in order to secure this win for the Williams. He would, in which case, right now, it would be his 2nd win of the season. Huis, in which, well, in the races where he has finished in the points, he's finished in the top 5, almost Russell-esque. He's found his form in the last couple of races, and he is surely showing it. So as it stands right now, he will jump up to P3 in the Drivers' Championship. He'll jump ahead of Kieran. Gap between himself and Gary, I believe, if my math is correct on this. He would gain 25. Gary will gain 8. If I do the math in my head, that is a 16? No, 17 point. No, 19. What? Brain. Yeah, 19. No, never mind. You know what? Screw it. He's gaining a decent amount of points, needless to say, to put himself firmly in the title hunt. And he's coming around the triple right-hander, and Huis, the Italian. He's found his form. He's found the pace. He's managed to hold off the medium runner of Underdog. He comes around the final corner. The Williams is going to do it again. He wins the United States Grand Prix. And it almost never looked in an uncertainty. Underdog will come home to finish in 2nd place as Dennis has managed to get ahead of James B off the final couple of corners. Dennis will come home to take P3, but due to the time penalty, that P3 will instead go to the Aston Martin of James B, his first podium of the season. That's exactly what he would have wanted. La Balloon will come home in 5th, another good result for the Haas. Gary will come home to take 6th. He doesn't take fastest lap, though. He doesn't take fastest lap. Flynn will come home to take 7th. And Fallen, he's going to take his first points of the season with an 8th place here in Coda. A brilliant result for him. And I'm pretty sure he'll be very, very happy about that. Haas will come home to take 9th. Sinone managing to nurse a damaged car all the way to P10. May not be the points he would have wanted, but I think a point nonetheless is still good for him. Quick Tongue will come home in P11. Redeemer in P12. That will be our 12 finishers of the United States Grand Prix. It was super tight between Huis and Underdog, but in the end, Huis had the pace, managed the gap, and he wins. And firmly puts himself in the title hunt. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from the Williams. Driver of the day goes to Haas. Well, at the early stages, I definitely would have said that, but it definitely didn't go well. I would give it to James B for managing to take a different strategy and come home to finish 3rd. I think
I will
that
also
he's
give
worthy
it
of
to
that.
James B.
Yeah, he's definitely worthy of that. He takes his first podium of the season.
This man is doing the fucking gritty. All right.
I may or may not have actually missed it because I accidentally pressed A. That is my mistake. as I'm gonna have to invite the drivers how to do it a bit differently because two of our drivers are on PC and PlayStation respectively. Underdog though he isn't. He is on Xbox, so I'll be able to invite him right here, right now. Here we go. I'll try and get them in as soon as possible. But Lewis will take the win here in Circuit of the Americas. An absolutely brilliant result for him as he puts himself firmly in the championship hunt. And Underdog will come home to take second place, and crucially for him, the lead of the Drivers' Championship, taking it 6 points between himself and Gary. James B, his first podium of the season. He'll come home to take third from 11th on the grid, doing an alternate strategy. Dennis will come home to take fourth ahead of Loud Balloon. Then comes Gary, Flynn, Fallen, Haz, Sinone, rounding out the top 10. Quick Tongue and Redeemer, unfortunately, not able to get a good result out of this race. And we lost Frizy, Whiffy, DeCoach, Echo, and Shredder from this Grand Prix. So I'm trying to get the drivers in to interviews, as I did invite them, so hopefully they can get in. I was able to find Lewis. Gonna have to wait a little bit. Does that actually work? Hang on. Might have to be waiting a little bit here. I'm
No way
trying to
that
figure it out.
works.
Huh?
No way that works.
That's what I'm saying.
The thing of cross-platform racing is that it's hard to get interviews
Yeah. Very true.
if you're not on the same platform, that is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get second and third place. I mean, not second, third here. First and third place for this Grand Prix. And well, it's not exactly going the way I wanted to. But we might as well get this. Wait. I can preview the Alfa Romeo in the virtual showroom now. Okay. But we might as well get this underway. And Q-Man, you might as well take this away. Drivers, be sure to include your interview. I mean, what? Include your audio. Sorry. And Q-Man, take us away for Underdog for P2.
All right, Underdog, that is a fantastic race from your end on P2. Unfortunately, your mediums unfortunately died out at the end of the race, but still, nonetheless, a P2 finish. Take us through your race.
Yeah, that was definitely a challenging race for me for sure. I had a couple mishaps with the hards and the mediums, like not getting the grips with the turning for me. So I decided to change my front wing up a little bit to get the mediums going. It helped a little bit, but it's kind of slowed my car down a little bit. But props to Lewis. I was putting all the pressure all over him. I just couldn't get up to him enough.
Yeah, man. So I also have one more question for you. Next weekend, our first street circuit race of the season, Singapore. What is your expectations for that race?
I don't have any high expectations there because it's a difficult track. You have to be really consistent on that track. If not, the track will abuse you. It's like, especially track limits and everything there. And if rain shows up, oh, it's a disaster. And
If
it's very
rain
hard to
shows
pass
up,
on
I'm
that
going
track
to
too.
cry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
also-
cry as well. It's like, it's a disaster, and you cannot really overtake if it's raining. Oh. That's why qualifying will be very important.
I don't disagree there. Well, good job on the P2. Congratulations, and we'll see you next weekend, Underdog.
Hey, wait a minute. I have a question. Hey,
Well-
don't just ignore me here.
Yeah, I totally forgot you existed. I'm the main commentary now.
No, you're not. Nah. Get back in line. But, I might as well ask over. So, Underdog, 7 races in, and, well, despite having a bit of an like up and down season, I guess you could say, you managed to finish every single race in the top 5. Amazingly, you take your second win, and as I mentioned before, you take the lead of the Drivers' Championship, I believe, for the first time since Season 8. I know it's still a long ways to go, but how are you gonna manage this, knowing that you have the lead over Gary right now?
It's really not on my mind right now. I take it race by race. It's like, I don't worry about the championship until the final last couple of races. I just gear down, focus on the tracks that's coming up. Plus, also, I was in the lead last year in the first race.
Oh yeah, that's true. You were.
That's easy.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's my bad. It feels so long ago, so yeah, like that's why I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a good mentality to go for at this stage. Race by race, I mean, that's really what you can only do right now, because we're only 7 races in, and we are getting close to that halfway point. It's not far away, so we'll just have to see. Nonetheless, though, congratulations to you for P2 at the United States Grand Prix, your home Grand Prix, and well, definitely a good way to send it over to Singapore. With that, we'll move over to first in the United States Grand Prix. And who is, be sure to include your audio. And well, from pole to the win. It was looking a bit uncertain at the late stages, but one thing's for sure, you managed to hold off Underdog, and you take the win here in Coda. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, like you said, in those final laps, I did not think I was going to be able to hold him up, but I just kept on thinking about the final corner and winning the race, just kept trying to keep that gap, and yeah, I'm just really happy about that, because pole position, as soon as I saw Dennis's lap of 33.6, I was like, oh, I don't think I can do that, but I tried even harder, and I managed to get him by 2/10 and also win the race, so really happy about that.
Yeah, definitely with that drive, managing to hold off Underdog. Not only do you boost yourself up in the championship now into P3 now in the Drivers' Championship, but you're also definitely putting yourself firmly into contention for this, heading over into Singapore, nearing the halfway stage. Do you think it's going to be difficult for you to beat Underdog and Gary and potentially take this championship? How do you expect it to go?
Hoping it goes all well. These guys are really fast, but Singapore is probably one of my strongest tracks, and I feel very confident about that. So I'm definitely wanting to win there and just trying to stay as relaxed as possible. And I hope that we can have much more better battles on track.
Obviously, a battle around Singapore might be a bit of a difficult ask,
Yeah.
because you know how it is around that track.
Yeah,
We'll definitely have to see in
it
just
is.
a week's time. But
Yep.
nonetheless, congratulations to you. Q-Man, do you have any questions for Huis?
Negative, I do not.
That took us a hot second. I thought you were dead. Anyways, once again, congratulations to you, Huis, on your win. And congratulations to Underdog on your P2. And of course, congratulations to James B for his P3, his first podium of the season. And with that, that's going to wrap up Tier 3 for us here tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, though, for Tier 1 and Tier 2, as they're going to race around the home of Breakout Racing League and home of Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And then, next week, we haven't been to this venue since Season 7, but we're going to arrive to once again. It's the Singapore Grand Prix, starting with Tier 3. Same time, same place. It's going to be an interesting one, that is for sure, so be sure to tune into that. But from Q-Man and I, that is going to be everything. Good day, good night, see you tomorrow for Tier 1 and 2.